Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, August 9th. Good to be with you, albeit from afar. I'm in my home office right now. Um, I want to talk to you today about what makes a great culture. And I think this is one of those things that is the most talked about thing probably in business right now. And it has been for quite some time, and that is growing and maintaining a great culture. And why is it that everybody is talking about it? And maybe it's the hardest thing to quantify, the hardest thing to define when it comes to a business. Profits are easy to define. It's top line revenue minus expenses. There's your profit. I mean, things are easy to define. They're very black and white. When it comes to culture, people struggle with what is it about that culture? And I can tell you it's far more than flat screen TVs and great coffee makers, right? Although those things are great, whatever, they don't make a great culture. So, what does make a great culture? I was listening to a podcast from Simon Sinek the other day, and he was talking about this very thing. And he said that the best definition he heard of culture was the combination, the culture equals, I'm trying to remember this verbatim, but culture equals values plus behavior. So he thought that was the best definition that he had heard. And he didn't really talk about anything more than that. So our values are integrity, tenacity, creativity, and excellence. And if we combine those with actions that or behaviors that model that, then our culture should grow. But I started thinking about this after he said it. And my questions to myself, and I wrote these down, was what makes a great culture? How does a great culture spread and grow? And so I started thinking about that. And started thinking about traveling. I love traveling. I love looking at different cultures from a macro perspective. What we're talking about America is a micro perspective when it comes to culture. But I think I ran across a couple of examples. One in particular I'm going to share with you today that I thought, you know what, that's why the culture is so good. And here goes. My family and I recently moved, and as we're moving, we've got moving trucks. People running everywhere, offloading furniture. Any of you who've moved recently know what I'm talking about. It's 106 degrees, boiling hot, and honestly, I didn't even want to be outside. I didn't want to be moving. I wanted to be in the air conditioning. And my neighbor, two doors down, comes down, introduces himself, gives me his name and his wife's name, both of their cell phone numbers. And he's about 65 years old. He's older than I am. And says, hey, how can we help? I want to help out. And I want to be useful to you guys. We just met. I don't know this person. We just moved in. And I thought, man, I said, no, don't worry about it. Great to meet you. Thanks. It's so hot out here. Go back to the air conditioning, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much for offering to help in very difficult situations. No one likes to move. I hate to move. And here we are, a neighbor, never met before, gives me his cell phone number, asks me if he can help me move in the boiling heat of the summer. And I thought about that for a long time. And that night, I was flying to Denver, and I was in the San Antonio airport, and there was a woman there with three kids. You can imagine this, three kids, tubs full of their bags and backpacks and all, the tubs that go through security. And, we got the other security line, and typically I would sit there because I'm relatively focused when I'm traveling and really when I'm doing anything, and I don't like to be slowed down. Any of you know me, know that about me. So I slowed down, helped her get all of her bags out, kids' bags. I'm putting them in the kids' hands. I'm starting to stack all of her bins up. And she's like, thanks so much. Right. So why? And I said, you're welcome. Have a great flight, yada, yada, yada. What prompted me to do that was the fact that my neighbor down the street came and he wanted to help me out in my time of need, even though, I ended up not telling him not to help us. I was afraid that one of us was going to die of a heat stroke. But his looking for an opportunity to help made me look for an opportunity to help someone else. Does that make sense? So essentially, the culture of helping someone else was started by someone coming down the street, giving me their phone number, saying, hey, we're here if we need you. Can we help you out right now? And changing me in my next interaction with the next person that I ran into that needed some help. Not asking for it, but I saw the need. So what makes a great culture? Why is it so hard to define? I'll tell you what makes a great culture. You do. You do. It's not something that comes from me or comes from Noel or comes from Jen or Mare or, name the director. It's not something that comes from them down. It's something that we do as individuals to look for someone who needs help and helping them out. That's why great cultures grow. That's how great cultures germinate. That's how great cultures spread. They spread with people who are earnestly looking for ways to help other people out. And it's a domino effect. Then that person looks for a way to help someone else out, and that person looks for a way to help someone else out. And the next thing you know, you've got a great culture. So the next time you're thinking, man, I wish there was a better culture around here, do something about it yourself, right? Look for someone who needs help. Look for the new employee that maybe needs a pat on the back and say, hey, I know there's a lot to learn here. And let me walk alongside you in this. Let me help you out. If you need something, you ask me, and I want to help you, right? That's how great cultures are built. That's the culture we want to build at Merrick. That's the culture I hope that we're building at Merrick. And it all starts with you. It all starts with the individual. Hope this is helpful. I am looking so forward to seeing everybody next week. I'll be in all week, face to face. So come by, say hello, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks.